Hi, everyone. We're just going to give it a couple minutes for everybody to start joining here. My name is Liz Stanton, and you are in the webinar for Introduction to Time Tracking. Myself and Margaret Gordon, who's also a training and implementation specialist, is on the webinar, and she'll be, popping in with some ideas, I'm sure, if I forget anything, and she's also going to be hopping on and making sure all your questions are answered. Just want to make sure, Margaret, you can hear me and see my screen okay still.
Yep, we can hear you perfectly and we can see your screen.
Great. I know we had about 30 people register, so I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes because I see we only have 13, so I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes. While we're waiting, I am going to go to the next slide and just show our disclaimer here for you guys to read over for a bit. Again, as you guys are coming in, this is the Introduction to Time Tracking module. And I also have the retention of rights noticed here. You guys could take a quick look at that. A couple more people. Yeah, just wanted to, oops, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Remind everybody that time tracking is used to track documentation at certain periods of time. If anybody did not know that so far. Right. Well, I'm going to get going. It's we have about 14, and it looks like it's stopped now with people coming in. So I just wanted to again welcome you all to time tracking overview and introduction to time tracking. Myself and Margaret are on the call on the training. This is just a little reminder of the workflow of time tracking. There's many different things you can document in time tracking, sleep tracking, toileting, repositioning are just a few. We're going to have another slide where it's going to give you a lot more options or ideas. And then the data and positioning. There's also some other unique and creative ways that we have seen other providers use over the years. And maybe you guys could share with us later during the poll here in a few minutes what you might use it for if you do use it. And we're going to be going through some of the roles that are needed for time tracking, some of the administrative roles, okay, and also some of the time tracking super roles which allows the users to view or edit, okay, or maybe the manager supervisor that needs to assign those templates that the administrator creates for the individuals who support. Okay, we're going to be going through that in a little bit. Okay. All right. I am going to start this poll here. Just interested in, sorry, I just want to make sure I'm going through everything. All right, so the polls. I'm going to launch the polling. Do you currently utilize the time tracking module at your agency? Just making sure, Margaret, that you can see that.
Yes, we can see the polls. Looks like we're getting some results right now.
Yep. I'll let those come in for a little bit. Looks like we're almost done. No, it's changing. About half of you have voted, so we're just going to give it a couple more minutes. Okay. Looks like the majority on the call do not, 75% so far do not use time tracking. And looks like most of it's sleep tracking. And to end the polling, I'm going to share the results so you guys can see that. So it's like 75% no, and it's pretty, looks like you're just doing, looks like others. So I guess I'm interested in knowing what you guys use that for. Maybe you guys could put that in the question and answer or the chat for us if you would like to. Okay. All right. First, I wanted to show you guys, I'm actually logged into a demo account. So all of the information you're going to see during the webinar is going to be fictitious. So just want to show you, quick show you before we go on where you can locate, if you didn't know already.
Hey, Liz.
Yes.
We are not seeing your demo account. We're just seeing the slides that say thank you.
Okay, thank you. How's that?
Yes, that's perfect.
Thank you for letting me know that.
No problem.
Sorry, I have this question thing up now. I can get rid of it. All right. So again, I'm in a fictitious account, and I just want to show you really quick. If you scroll down to the help and support link, it's going to take you to our help and support page. And what I like to show people is if you hover over the user guides, you're going to see all of the modules that we have here at Therap, and you're going to be able to just click on the time tracking option. And then it's going to give you a nice overview of time tracking as a whole. It's going to give you the workflow and all the user guides that we're going to go through all of this today, but the user guides for administrators and for users. And also wanted to let you know that we have any webinars that are recorded, including this one, will be added to the page as well. Okay. So just wanted to show you guys where that was. Okay. So I also wanted to mention if the time tracking module is currently unavailable for your agency, a user at your agency with a super admin role will need to send a request to the team to have it turned on, to activate it for your agency. If you're currently not seeing the options for it, then you would want to have them do that. Okay, and they can do that by clicking new under issue tracking and just sending that request in. Okay. All right, moving on, I just want to go over some of the roles as we discussed earlier that are needed to get this set up. The first roles that are needed are admin roles, and it's time tracking management. I'm going to go ahead and show you that. So under admin user privileges, you would hit manage. I'm just going to go into, I'm just going to do my account. Well, I guess I can just go into anybody's. I'm going to go into Amanda. And the first role I wanted to show you was that time tracking template management. And that is going to be under module roles, under agency-wide administrative roles, and it's going to be right here, the time tracking template management. And again, that is needed. The users need that who are going to create the templates. Okay, so first the templates need to be created before they can be assigned, and that is the role for that. The other roles are going to be within the super role. So again, from your admin tab in the super role, you're going to click on manage, and you're going to go into super role. And again, all of these modules are in alphabetical order. So you're going to scroll down, excuse my fast scrolling, scroll down to the time tracking module. And here is where you will have your options for viewing data edit and time tracking, assign or unassign. So again, those who need to have those templates, the ability to have those, to assign those templates that you create, will need this role here. All right. Any questions on roles so far?
No questions thus far.
I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you where those templates are managed from. Okay, they're managed from that agency tab. So if you have the role to create templates and keep track of and manage those templates, you're going to have from your agency tab a time tracking area. Okay. And first I'm going to go into my list. I'm just going to show you the list. So if you already have them in your system, I'll be able to see my list. And currently I have a bunch that are active in here. I have 9. And again, you'll see all the different templates. Okay. And I can bring that up and I can either discontinue it or update it. And I can also, what's nice, I like to show people is that if they're assigned to anybody, you're going to have that option to see what individuals are assigned this template right from here. You can't assign from here. That is another area, but you can just quickly come here and look at the template and see who is assigned. Okay. Or discontinue it altogether. Okay, I'm going to go back. So to create a template, I'm going to create a simple one here. You would go to the time tracking, new, template new. Okay. And again, you're going to see all the red asterisks. These are the required fields. So it's required to name the template. So I'm just going to name the template. I'm going to do a real simple one. I'm going to call it falls. Okay. And you also have a chance to a start time and end time. So say you want to, during the day, say I want to start this at, the person gets up at 6 a.m., starting at 6 a.m. Oops. And also I want to go to maybe 11 p.m. Okay. So from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And these are the intervals. Right now, you're unable to change these intervals. Right now, this is the intervals that Therap has set. So I got 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and 2 hours. So maybe we wanted every hour, maybe this, when you're recording falls your agency, you want staff every hour to say whether or not someone had a fall. So we're going to do 1 hour intervals. And maybe under the options, I do, no falls. And then you have really nice feature. We have lots of different colors you can choose. Okay. So no falls. We want the green light. That's going to be cool. We want green, no falls. So we want to see a lot of green. And then maybe the next one, maybe fell 1 time. Pink. And then you can just click add more until and so on. Maybe this person has a tendency to fall. Oh, wait, green. Let's do orange, and so on and so forth. You have a lot of options here. You can keep choosing. Margaret, maybe you can remind me how many of those. I think it's 15 options. I think you have 15.
That's correct.
Options, yes. And then you can also add a little instruction here for the staff. Please monitor calls every hour. Maybe you could add, sleep here. So, they could just mark that the person was asleep and they're not going to have falls while they're in bed. All right. So please monitor every hour during wake hours. Okay. Something like that. You can write whatever you want there and then you can save it. So that's pretty much how you create a template. Okay. Any questions on creating a template before I go on to how to assign that template?
No questions thus far.
Great. All right. So in order to assign that again, that is going to be from the individual tab. So on the individual tab, you're also going to have a time tracking section. Okay. What I also like to show people during these webinars is this lovely module search feature. So as you can see, if you're an admin or you have a lot of things on your dashboard, it's really hard sometimes to really find some things. So I like to point this out during my webinars in case anybody's not aware of that. You can hit time tracking, and it's also it's not just gonna cover what tab you're on, it's also gonna cover anywhere time tracking is found. So back where that agency, where I was just before for the templates, also has that option. So for here, I want to the time tracking individual template. If you click on that, it's going to take you right to where you need to go. So that's really handy. I like to show that to people if they're not aware of that. So once you're in the time tracking, here's where you would assign or unassign. So we're going to take and we're going to assign that template that I just created for at least one person here. So you would click on that and you're going to see all of those that are available. Okay. So here's that fall. So once you click on the template that you want to assign, you're going to get a list of all of those that you have access to. And again, this is a super role-based case, super role-based role. So it'll be those who you have access to on your caseload, who will be your choices. So if you're not seeing the person here you want to assign it to, that probably means that they're not on your caseload. Just a little reminder of that. All right. So I'm going to assign it to Brandon Jackson. He's been falling a lot lately. And you'll get that it was successfully assigned. Okay. So now that that's assigned to him, back from the individual tab, when staff want to do some time tracking and they want to do their daily data, they can go ahead and click on daily data from the individual tab, time tracking, daily data. And they can go to Brandon. Okay. And if Brandon's assigned more than one template, they're going to be in that drop down when you look for templates. So again, in case you didn't know, you can assign multiple templates to an individual. We're going to choose this falls. Okay. Also allows you to choose a specific date. If you're in here trying to do data for the day before or a few days before, you can put a specific date in. Otherwise, if you don't choose that, it's just going to be for today's date. Okay. Which it says here, by leaving specific date unselected, you'll be taken to the appropriate daily data based on the current time. So when I hit next, it's going to bring up that template, okay, that we just created. And I'm going to come in here, and when you drop that down, maybe he was still asleep at 6 a.m. Again, you can fill all this in. Maybe about 8 a.m. he was up, had no falls. And you can just go through, and it's just as simple as that, clicking on and showing for that hour at that time, still no falls. Okay. So maybe he fell one time here. Okay. And again, so just to show you, perfect example, staff cannot document on things that haven't happened yet. So they can come in here and do, up until what time it is now, and it's 1. We have not hit 2 p.m. yet, Eastern time. So I am not able to document on that. Okay. So once they're completed, you can go ahead and hit save. Okay. I'm going to go back to the form from here. You could go back and look at it, but from here, I'm just going to go back to form. And that's going to bring me back to those things that I just did. What I like to show is this little eye icon. Okay, it's going to give you the information of when I entered this. Okay, which is really nice, specifically for managers, making sure that staff are coming here when they want them to document. You'll see that this is for 6 a.m., but I didn't do it till 1:19. So, based on when you want staff to come in here during their shift, that's a really nice feature to see that when they actually enter that. I can also make changes. So say, nope, I meant to say that he fell at 11 one time and not this. I can change that and I can hit update. And then when I go back to the form, when then my internet decides it wants to let me in, I can take a look at that. And now when I go to the I can see an update history. So you can see that my original entry was 1:19, but I updated it there. And I can go and see the updated history and see the older version. Okay. If there was another version, I could click on both of those and show difference, and it would show me the difference. Okay. But it's nice you have the update history. You can see when I was updated. Okay. Any questions on entering data? Again, you'll also have the previous days. So if you had to enter previous days, it's going to let you, and you'll see that all those are available for me to document on. Okay. Any questions, Margaret, on any of the entering the data or anything that I missed that you want to add?
We did get a question that I think would be helpful to bring up to the group. Someone asked about, Christy asked about receiving an alert or notification if an employee does not finish filling it out. And I did check our notification section. And as of now, there is not a time tracking notification, but I think that's a great suggestion. Liz, could you show where we can submit suggestions?
Sure.
Thank you.
So back where we had in the beginning where I showed you the help and support, we also have this issue tracking area. There's a couple different ways you can send in, but the first way is issue tracking, and you could do new. And you can send in a suggestion here. So the category suggestion, and then your summary would be time tracking. Okay. And you can just fill out what you suggested there, adding some kind of adding time tracking module to our notification section. That would be great. And then once you submit that, hit create. Once you're back at your dashboard, under my issues, you'll have a 1 in parentheses when we respond to you regarding that suggestion. Okay. See, we have a hand raised. Do we address that?
Let me see here. Looks like Nicole, you have your hand raised. We'd be happy to answer any questions if needed in that Q&A section. Or if needed, Liz, if you have the ability to allow her to talk, we could certainly do that too. So just let us know, Nicole, what might work best in that chat or Q&A section.
Yeah, let us know. And I will certainly unmute her if that's what she prefers. Just want to show one more thing for the signing and unassigning. Again, that unassign works just like assigning. So if you needed to unassign a template for somebody, you would click unassign and say, I want to just do that. And if I wanted to remove that, I would just choose who I wanted to remove that from and click unassign. Pretty simple as that. I don't want to unassign anything if this is something that someone else is working on. It's a demo account, so I don't want to ruin that, but I just wanted to go over how to check if you want to unassign a template and click unassign. So it works pretty much the same as assigning. Okay. All right. So I want to also show you another way you can do time tracking, not just from the individual tab, but you can go to the individual home page. Okay. Again, if you don't see the name there, you can search for the name here. And then once you search once, their picture will be here. So I'm going to click on Brandon's picture. And you'll also see time tracking here. So if you're on the individual homepage and you want to do your daily data from here, you can most certainly do that from here. Okay. And do what we just did. I also wanted to show you some of the reports. So what it looks like. I have some things in here for Brandon from previous that I know I have a whole month for. So let me quick show you. So from the individual homepage or from the individual tab, you can look at some reports. So we're going to go down to time tracking. And I'm going to look at the monthly report. Okay. I know this is for Brandon, I have some mood tracking. I have the whole month of October in here. Some good data in here for him. So I want to go back and do October. Okay. So again, you're just going to look for the template and the start and end date. Hit next. And that's going to bring this beautiful chart for you. Maybe your behavior specialist or your clinician. This is extremely important for them to look at if they're trying to see some kind of pattern for the individuals and what they're going through or what you're tracking. And again, we have the hours broken down into hours and frequencies. Okay. Also available in printables and exports, so you can display this as a PDF, okay, which is kind of nice. You need to take this to the doctor to show. Okay. I can't see. Sorry. Gotta love those menus there on Zoom. All right. Any questions on the reporting or anything I can address?
Not as of now, but I was just going to mention that reports are also just another great way. Certainly they're not, necessarily an alert or a notification, but also a great way to kind of check for the data in the system. So
there's also reports, I'm pretty sure, Margaret, correct me if I'm wrong, in the report library.
I do believe you're correct. Yes.
In the report library and agency reports. And again, not everybody is going to have agency reports, but those admins that are on today's webinar might have the agency reports in view. And if you just type in time tracking, as you can see, I've done it before, and hit search, you're going to see the time tracking report by event date. So again, what I love about these reports in the report library is it's going to be very descriptive of what's in this report. So list all the time tracking events of active and discontinued templates for admitted individuals. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And let's do the event dates. I'm just going to do, let's see what we've got in here for April so far. Okay, so here we go. Here's all my falls that I did. Okay, for Brandon Jackson. Now again, this is going to show every individual. Right now, I'm just been working with Brandon Jackson, so you're going to see that all of his information. Let me see if I can go back. Again, it will have more individuals. This is probably a bad example, but it just has, I just have some information here for Brandon. But again, you can export this to Excel. Okay, and you'll be able to, filter, say I want to see, I want to filter this, and I wanted to see when he fell one time. Okay, so I can see all the times that he fell. Okay, and that's going to be nice, and that's going to be, if you have more than one person on here, you can filter by person, you can filter by program, anything you need to do to see this. Oh, he was at community hub this time, and he's day hub, you can see all of that information. And again, this is agency wide, so you're going to see that for everybody and have the ability to see everybody at one time. Okay, instead of just looking at that report within time tracking. This is a nice way to see across the board. Any questions regarding the report in the report library?
I don't see any.
Okay. Can you think of anything I have not covered or anything anybody wants to see again? We got some time here.
I think that pretty much covered it. Maybe if you want to show that slide again of some different uses, now that people have kind of seen how the module works, we could go back to some of these kind of creative ideas you could use for time tracking here. The only thing I might add in is I know there is kind of a behavior tracking or mood tracking here, but do just want to kind of remind everyone there is only that one drop down option that they can select. And as you guys kind of saw, not a lot of places for comments or kind of descriptions. So some people decide ISP programs work a bit better for kind of the behavior tracking, but certainly anything that doesn't need a ton of description or comments by the users, I think could be utilized within time tracking. So you can really get creative with it. Don't be limited to just, you know, falls or bed checks or sleep tracking. You can do a lot of different things with it.
Yeah,
I think you covered it though.
Okay, did we get anybody in chat or questions and answers tell us what they are using it for when they click other?
Oh, someone did just mention that they just entered a no, that they weren't using
Oh.
it yet. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
We do have a hand raised. I think it's Gregory, your hand's raised. I know Nicole mentioned she didn't mean to raise her hand, so sometimes it might happen accidentally. But certainly if you guys have some creative ideas, you can absolutely put those in the chat.
We had someone just say diaper log.
Oh, okay, great. We'll add that to our list. That is another great use of time tracking. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Gregory. Anybody else have some creative uses for time tracking? It's nice to get ideas from other people. Awesome. Well, Liz, I think that was an excellent presentation about time tracking. And if there aren't any other questions, oh, let's see. We do have one more that just came in. Would you mind, Liz, going back and showing that monthly chart with all the different colors for an individual? Gregory wants to take a look at that one more time.
Sure, if I could find that again. All right, you are seeing my screen, correct?
Yes.
Great. All right, so to see those reports, there's a couple of different ways. You can go from the individual tab in the time tracking section, which, see, I skipped right by it. The time tracking section. So you're going to see that monthly report here. Okay. And I'm going to go into Brandon Jackson's, as I know he has some data in there, so you can see what effective it is when it's filled out. So you'd want to pick that template that you want to see the information for. And I believe his was mood tracking. And it was October. So you pick the month you want to see. And what did I do wrong? I did the wrong year. This hasn't happened yet, October. I'm rushing things here. All right, once you have the correct year, you can search. And that's that report that we were looking at earlier. It's going to give you, you know, a nice colorful graph, and I'll be able to show you some of the tendencies the person has and what time. So it can help the behavior specialist or the clinician, you know, really look at, you know, the hours, how many hours, and the frequencies, and also, you know, max time and average time. Okay.
These can also be printed or exported in that bottom left corner if needed.
Again, so again, as I mentioned before, you can display them as a PDF and, you know, print them or send to the doctor. So it's kind of a nice little option. Any other things that we wanted to see before we
No.
close the webinar?
I'm not seeing any other questions, but feel free if you guys want to put those in. If there's anything else we want to go back and look at.
Just remember, we have the 2 ways from the individual tab or from the individual homepage where you can enter that time tracking data or look at those reports. Okay. All right. Well, if you don't see any more questions, Margaret, I think we're good to go here.
We have one more that came in from Tracy.
Awesome.
She's asking about some different behavior or mood options. Excited, stress, relax, and fatigue are only 4 options for the behavior mood. That's correct. You could do those 4, or you can do more than that if needed. So that's just an example of one. Certainly you could add in additional things on this, on the options section. If you need, you can have up to 15 as Liz mentioned. So you can absolutely do more or change those as needed. I hope that answers your question, Tracy.
Yeah, you can just keep adding and adding as many as you need to for that person's behaviors and emotions. Okay.
Great. She said that did answer it. So wonderful.
Good.
Thanks, Liz.
Yeah.
I think that is all of our questions.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate the attendance today. And again, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to use the feedback or, the feedback option, which is the same as we pointed out before. The issue tracking leads you to the same place with questions. And again, remember that live help feature and that help and support page. It's always available to you guys as great resources. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks, Margaret.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks, Liz.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye.